Pod luck. All right, so fans amazed at how jacked Natalie Portman is in Thor: Love and Thunder trailer.
Right, because women can be jacked, right?
That's fun. I'm going to say that I hate everything about this trailer. It is boring. It's very clearly done as a way of like, it feels like a bait and switch. Like they put the Guardians of the Galaxy in it, and they're probably not going to be in the movie for very long.
It was like the lamest trailer ever. It's so boring, not engaging at all.
I sort of feel like the headline, fans are amazed about how jacked Natalie Portman is an indication that this trailer is boring. If that's the only thing you can come away with, like, she could have also just like been snapped by the paparazzi and would have been like, "Whoa, she's really put on some muscle." Like,
they could have just said that she looks stronger. I feel like it's wrong to call a woman jacked.
They didn't need to make a multi-million-dollar movie for Natalie Portman to put on. I guess they did. That's the only motivation she had. So if you were what? Oh wait, what if it's CGI muscle?
Yeah, I was thinking
it could be. So basically, this is Jane Foster as Thor is based on a comic run that I never read. I don't care about. I don't care. I hate it when they treat every character as a mantle that you can pass rather than it being that person. Spider-Man is a mantle. It can also be Miles Morales. Captain America is not just Steve Rogers. It can be Bucky, or it can be Sam Wilson. It's a mantle. No, it is not a mantle. It shouldn't be a mantle. It should be that person, especially since Thor is actually based on mythology, right? So it should not be a mantle. But of course, it's 2022, and for the last 5 years, 7 years if you count, I guess really since Ghostbusters 2016, 6 or 7 years, everything has to be like taken away from the male characters and made female, which is stupid because you could just make better female. If you want to do a character like that and just make a female version of that, but make it something else, you could do that. But when you eventually gender swap for something like this and then literally put it in the name, nobody's going to want that.
Are you proposing that Hollywood stop making remakes, Brett?
I'm proposing that they stop changing the characters.
That's all they can do.
It is all they can do. So it says, given that it says after the first trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder was released yesterday, fans have been queuing up to mention how jacked Natalie Portman looks. You can have a look at Portman's transformation by watching the trailer below. Basically, there's this funny picture that came out when they announced her coming back to the series, because she was Thor's love interest in the first two movies, and she could not have looked less interested if she was taking like a calculus test with the flu. Like she looked like she didn't want to be there. It was not the role for her. Natalie Portman is a fantastic actress. V for Vendetta is one of my favorite movies of all time. But the point is that it didn't really work. She was a damsel in distress character. But here's the problem. In today's society, you can't have a woman, no offense, you're not allowed to have the woman just be rescued by a guy because strong, independent.
She can rescue herself.
She can rescue herself. Did you see that tweet from...
But what if she doesn't want to?
Did you see that tweet from... They don't... Like, wouldn't the historical precedent be that most don't have fantasies about that? They would have the fantasy about being saved. What is the correlation? Like, men on a plane imagine that they're going to stop a hijacker from stealing the plane. Women fantasize about protecting the children. Stuff like that. Like, there's corollaries between... biology, sex, and like what we are predisposed to growing up, and they keep wanting to go against it when they make these movies. And I'm just asking, who's this for? Who's this for?
I think they were tired of seeing Natalie Portman so skinny. They were like, "Girl, you got to put on some muscle. Let's make a multi-million-dollar movie to make this happen."
When they brought her out on stage to do like the promotion when they announced her for this movie, she first of all, she's like 4'11", and her arms were
Natalie
like
Portman, who was in The Black Swan, right?
Yes. And her arms were like this big, and she like tries to lift like a styrofoam hammer and like can barely pick it up. So I will give her credit for like going to the gym and doing her job and getting into, I guess, more. I
want to know now if it's CGI. Has anyone seen her in the wild with these muscles?
You never know.
I mean,
they don't have to.
Has anyone seen her in the wild with these muscles?
So I
That's ignoring my conspiracy theory.
So basically,
do we actually know that she's jacked?
Have we seen Natalie Portman and her muscles in the same room at the same time?
That's what I'm asking.
I haven't.
So
somebody prove me wrong. I'll buy that she's actually jacked. Right now, I think it's CGI. Now that this concept of having fake muscles computered onto someone.
That might be the boomerest term ever. Could you computer that on there somewhere? I would like
not helping your case right now.
From now, whenever like I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna computer you a message later. And I'm gonna computer you like it's gonna be what I mean it's email, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna computer that over to you.
It could be an email, it could be Slack, it could be a text, you could be Instagram messaging me. I'll just say computer. But I stand by. I actually don't believe she has muscles. I'm starting that conspiracy theory now. I haven't seen it in the wild.
No hate to you, Natalie Portman. Look, loved you in Leon the Professional.
I think that
he was like 2.
I respect you for not conforming to these feminist body standards with giant muscles. Brett is looking at Mary so proudly because he knew.
She's seen Leon the Professional. Yeah.
I just want you guys to know that Brett is like incredibly impressed.
It's very ironic because in that movie there was this man who came into her life and became this like father figure hero for her, and now she's her own father girl figure. Boss. It sucks.
Did you see the tweet from what's her name? The really crazy Alyssa Milano. She's like, we need to stop this dangerous practice of telling men when they leave to tell the boys of the house to take care of your mother while I'm gone.
Right, because taking care of women is bad.
Hard disagree. Way swerve.
Yeah, it says fans have long decried the MCU's treatment of its female love interest, particularly Jane Foster, who was made out to be the epitome of a helpless female in need of saving. Thor is a god from another planet. She is a human being.
So this is anti-religion. I see. I'm just kidding.
I just don't care anymore. Also, I also like that they put there's the article from Tessa Thompson, who sucks. No offense to Tessa Thompson, but she sucks.
In case you were wondering, Tessa.
Sorry, Tessa.
They talk like they're calling her King Valkyrie because 2022. Because
that's almost insulting, though.
But the character is LGBTQIA+, so King Valkyrie, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. I don't care. This is why I didn't make a full topic about this. I just don't care. I'm vaguely excited to see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which, by the way, is projecting at like $170 million opening. So that's clearly not going to struggle, which is hard. It says between 170 and 205 million domestically, but I just don't care about Thor. Like, Thor needs to either let the dude make the movie on his own and not be surrounded by a bunch of people, or just use him in other movies if they're not going to let him actually be front and center of his own movie.
Can I just say that I looked up Natalie Portman at the 2022 Oscars, which was last month? Mm-hmm. She does not look muscly to me.
She wasn't flexing, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Also,
her dress, I do have to say, is gorgeous. Beautifully draped green dress, but she does not look
So you're
muscly.
saying it's CGI?
I think it is.
You're making the claim.
It's also proof that there's this weird.
I'm just gonna add some fuel to my conspiracy fire, which I have started right here.
There's a weird disconnect, dude, where they're like they in their when they wear their gowns to these events, they're all happy to be very feminine and embrace feminine traits. But when they're making the movies, they have to embrace masculine traits, and it makes no freaking sense. And I'm over it.
Well, their characters are feminist, but they themselves are subjected to the patriarchy.
Also, it's also very plausible that depending on when they filmed that, she could have lost that muscle tone.
Yeah, it sort of looks like her arms, this sounds horrible and I don't mean it this way, but they look maybe like more larger than normal, but not in an unflattering way.
Yeah.
Because she's just so petite and dainty generally. But again, I am not seeing her as jacked in this photo. She looks great. I would not have said she was a particularly jacked person.
Before we finish this topic and move on to the next one, I just want to say I challenge these studios to just make a movie not talking about, because there's this part about Tessa Thompson and the Valkyrie's sexuality. Just make a movie not talking about anybody's sexuality of any kind, whether it's gay, straight, any of that.
Well, we talk about the content of their character?
Of the movie, yeah.
What are you talking about, Brett?
Or just weird gender role reversal themes for no reason that nobody likes. All of the comments on that trailer reflected that no one was excited about it. The only positive comments I saw were mainly love the soundtrack. Yep. And then all of the rest of them were just great. They're going to make Thor the blundering idiot male.
Yeah.
And then she's going to come in and save the day.
So I just challenge them, maybe it doesn't have to be any thing why are people so obsessed with who other people sleep with? Just make a good movie based on a story that you want to tell.
That's the thing. We're not obsessed with it. It is getting imposed on us.
But the thing, why are the creators of these films? Why are they so obsessed with it?
Well,
why does it matter who Valkyrie sleeps with? Why does it matter who Thor sleeps with if they're not doing the storyline with Jane Foster anymore? If it's not essential to the plot, leave it out.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. Okay, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard try. So he's taking the stand today, and I can literally see the desire on Mary's face to go to the courtroom and ask Johnny Depp questions.
I thought for our 100th episode we were going on a field trip to this. I don't understand what happened, Brett.
I don't know what happened there, but
well,
did we get grounded? Why did you not?
It's okay. We have like 4 or 5 weeks left
to go.
Isn't that crazy? This is going to go on for so long. There are murder trials that take half the time. I guess it's more concrete in some ways. Like, person is dead.
Did he kill him? Did not kill him?
Financially.
So one of the things that I thought was interesting that Depp had a witness. This is a little bit older news. Depp had a witness that was removed because the witness admitted that they like watched the trial or watched the stuff on TV. Or they were following the case. I love the idea that pretty much everyone has to lie because I don't buy that anybody other than like maybe like really old people, who the hell doesn't know that this is going on? Like, I mean, or who they are. Like, how do you not be influenced by this in some way?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people who aren't following it that closely, but like it's been going on for what? I mean,
a couple of years now between the Sun lawsuit.
I feel like it was a long time coming. Yeah. So in some ways, like, it's almost impossible to find someone who hasn't come in contact with it in any way, in any capacity.
So the Depp has the witness that's removed for admitting that or whatever. And then it says Amber Heard had her closest journalist friend sitting front and center with her legal team at the trial, live tweeting, texting, and posting information. Eve Barlow seems to think she's part of Amber's legal team. Depp's lawyers finally had enough and had her barred from the courtroom. So this was leading into this one. And then today confirms my story that I told you guys about the other day. It says, Johnny Depp, here's the straight poop claims Amber Heard or friend crapped in his bed, and it's complete with pictures. There are photos. I do love the idea, however, that Amber Heard blamed their Yorkshire Terrier, their dog. And there's like literally like a back and forth about that.
And it was covered by blankets. Then like so that he would get in and not know.
Yes, it says
so
he would lay in it, not knowing at first.
Yep, it says we're told the housekeeper called Depp the next morning and told him someone had crapped on his side of the bed and then put covers over it. He thinks Amber wanted him to unsuspectingly hop into the bed and hit poop. I think my favorite part about this, though, is that he thinks it's like her or a friend. I do like the idea that Amber Heard has like a ride or die friend that likes her enough that she would do that. I guess she or he would do this enough, would do this for her. And I also have now hereby, it is no longer it's hurting the bed. It's not shitting the bed anymore.
Hurting the bed is the new term.
Hurting the bed.
It's hurting the bed. That's what you will call that from now on. But I like, everyone should aspire to have a friend who likes you enough to be like Amber Heard's friend who would crap in your ex's bed.
I'm looking at the picture
to make a point.
Now. That is not from a terrier.
That's the thing. Like, if you have a friend who is like, "Hey, I'm breaking up with someone. Could you please go, like, poop in their bed?"
And you're just like, yeah.
Look at them and be like, "I am sad you're going through something hard, but that's deranged. Please never ask me that again." Like,
and please seek help.
That
also,
you had a friend who was like, "Yeah, this seems like a reasonable, totally normal thing to do." Like. I understand what you're saying. Like, that is a level of friendship. On the other hand, that's such a level of deranged miscalculation and poor judgment. Like, no.
It's incredible. So it says, I remember that they were looking for his finger when it got cut off, and there's still all of this, this speculation as to what caused it. One person said that Heard threw a vodka bottle at her husband, and another says that Depp injured his finger by slamming it with a phone. I don't know how slamming with a phone cuts it off, but I guess maybe it was like a rotary phone.
Or like if your iPhone has like broken glass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those little pieces of glass when a phone screen breaks are bad. So it says...
This person who was like, I remember looking for his finger downstairs.
Some of it, however, the way they describe it, absolutely felt like when they're talking about how Heard claims that it has more to do with like him being on a drug bender and that they were just really bad for each other. It says, more than a week after his emergency, they're talking about his finger incident, says, his emergency visit to the hospital, Depp texted Kipper, that's his private doctor, thank you for everything. I have chopped off my left finger as a reminder that I should never cut my finger off again. I love you. So that's kind of like an admission that he did it to himself. He says, I have cut my, but then he says,
what a strange thing to say.
Heard has denied inflicting the injury on Depp and claimed that the Crybaby star, they put in quotes Crybaby, was he in something called Crybaby?
Crybaby's a John Waters movie. It's great.
Okay. That's an incredible, because she called him a crybaby in a past article,
wow.
and I wasn't sure if they were referring to a movie.
Yeah, he's like a teenage like heartthrob who like can shed one single tear, and all these girls fall in love with him. It's hilarious.
So it says they said the crybaby star hurt his finger after a wild 3-day drug bender. On the third day of Johnny staying awake without sleeping, I came downstairs to find numerous messages Johnny had written to me around the house, on the walls and on my clothes, written in a combination of oil paint and the blood from his broken and severed finger. Johnny also urinated all over the house, the actress said in a previous statement. So the point of it is it's all insane and it's all nuts. And I don't know who of those that they're both celebrities. I don't know if I don't really believe either of them more than one another. I think she has proven that she's getting far more preferential treatment given their mutually awful behavior. But
she is getting it currently, or she has gotten in.
She's not.
I think in the past,
she's not being removed from her.
People aren't really on her side.
Not about the people. I'm saying from the businesses. She's not being removed from her movies.
Yeah.
Her career hasn't. I mean, I don't know.
He
if
had
her
a greater
career,
loss.
Yeah, I don't know if her career is taking a hit the way his has. It says it was a point of pride for her that if she felt disrespected, to initiate a fight. The therapist said of Heard. Heard would also rather be in a fight with Depp than see him leave, and would strike him to keep him there. Wow.
I meant like if it was male pronouns, if he would rather be in a fight than watch her leave, he would strike her to keep her there. Like we would all be like,
why are you making me do this to you? That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah. Why are you making me do this to you? I don't want to do this to you. That's evil, dude. It's evil. All right. Kim Kardashian visibly annoyed by sex tape comments during a jury selection. This is just for one paragraph, and they're in court right now with Black China over what was the point of that case? Was that
a defamation trial.
Case or something like that? It says page 6 was inside the Los Angeles Superior Court when Kardashian Jenner's attorney Michael Rhodes asked a group of potential jurors if they had strong positive or negative feelings towards reality television. One potential juror, a man who appeared to be in his late 50s or 60s, claimed that he'd never watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but noted, I have watched the Kim Kardashian sex tape, and I don't think I can be impartial on this case. The response elicited a roar of laughter from other potential jurors in the audience. After the remark, Khloe Kardashian was seen fixing Kim's long, dark locks as if to comfort her sister. I don't blame her. I imagine that is, I mean, she's laughing.
Sorry, that's hilarious.
But,
I mean, I totally understand why she may not like that comment, but I think we've talked about this before. Yep. These are the consequences of your actions,
and
right?
she's also been bringing it up to the public recently, so she's
to
bringing
protect
it
her
back
children.
to mind on her show.
I thought that was like she said, like it's coming back. The sex tape has been in the news more lately than it has in like 10 years.
Like it's coming back to haunt me, but I'm talking about it on my TV show.
It doesn't make any sense. Which, by the way, is premiering very soon, or has premiered just now.
What if she yelled that in the courtroom? She goes, and if you want to know more about that story, go check out Hulu.
Yeah. I don't understand why this. I mean, maybe this is they can't talk about it on the show, but like I would have been interested if they had been like, oh yeah, we have like litigation coming up against someone who is actually a former romantic partner of our brother and also of one of our sister's exes, and also she's the mother of one of our children's cousins. Like Blac Chyna's weirdly involved with their family. Like it's interesting that this is the case that's going on, and yet the whole promo doesn't include it.
Yeah.
Kris Jenner, 66, then shook her head after the same man reiterated to the judge that it would be difficult for him to serve as a juror because he would be replaying that sex tape over and over again in his head.
It sounded kind of creepy, though.
That's weird.
But it is a way to get out of jury duty.
The guy probably hasn't. He's 66. I don't know if he had was he big with the internet? He was already in his 40s when that came out. Maybe he's like,
must have been a pretty big deal.
I know, but like to be like, well, I'd be replaying it over and over. Had in front of like that person.
In front of the person, yeah.
And
that's
like,
weird.
He's like staring at her.
It's hard not to be like, are you getting off on this, you creep?
Well,
but you are probably going to not have to be on the case.
He's like, I've got work.
This dude wants to go home.
He just wants to go home.
I'm just going to sound like a complete lunatic.
See, like, even before he went to the trial, he's like, was she the one who had their sex tape? I'll use that to get out of jury duty. All right. I really made Mary's day with this one. Models show off her injuries after fighting rival OnlyFans star. Two OnlyFans models were captured in a heated exchange this weekend after appearing at the same nightclub. The tense fight broke out between Chelsea FC fan Astrid Wet. That's her actual name, Astrid Wet, with two T's.
Two T's,
Similar,
just like Brett.
With two T's, yes, exactly. Not Brent, as somebody said last night on the show. There's no N in my name. And the Man City supporter, Elle Brooks. The now deleted clip on TikTok where the pair were seen shouting abuse at each other while startling bystanders tried to separate them. The best part is they're both accusing each other of being fake fans of football, soccer, if you're here in America, and that's what it comes down to. It's kind of like when you go into like a comic shop and somebody says, "Oh, I love that character." Like, "Oh yeah, name three of their villains." It's like, "Oh yeah, you think you like football? You never even go to the games. You're totally a poser." So it just talks about them. It says, taking to Twitter, Wet shared a photo of her neck, which appeared to have been scratched alongside the caption, "For everyone who's sending me this fight video, she threw a drink all over me and scratched my neck up. That's why I reacted like this."
And then the other girl responds later, "What a waste of a vodka cranberry."
Yep, which is a very snarky response. I'm here for it.
I think she might be winning this fight, even if she maybe lost in person. Who knows?
I agree. So it's
loved that part.
The fight is seemingly the latest incident between the pair that is played out on social media. Wet previously tweeted at Brooke, alleging she doesn't attend any of Manchester City's games. "Least I actually go to the games, you slag."
I want to see the video of this. Their accents are so funny.
Brooke responded with a picture of her at the, I don't know how to pronounce that, Etihad Stadium, with her middle finger raised, which came after a flurry of tweets bashing Chelsea Football Club, who Wet supports. So, it's a big deal out there. Like that would be like a Yankees Boston. Yeah. It would be like the Yankees versus the Boston Red Sox here, I guess.
Yeah, it's a huge rivalry.
It says, Brooke added, "The friendly fire will not be tolerated," alleging Wet doesn't attend the games either. So they both accuse the other of being fake fans. I love it. I'm here for it. It says, I also love that, like, you're now a model if you're on OnlyFans. It's kind of like...
that's too charitable of a term.
It's a very charitable term for such a thing. But they talk about how, like, Kelsey Johnson from Throw Scotland splashed out on a series of luxury items. They're talking about, like, it's got nothing to do with this article, but it says, last week, an OnlyFans model revealed she spent 500,000 pounds. Is that pounds?
Yeah, pounds.
Right? In just one day, which has nothing to do with this article, but maybe they needed, like, another paragraph and they couldn't really...
Something related to OnlyFans.
To you, like, how influential OnlyFans is. Like, that's how much money she is getting from being on
are these
OnlyFans.
girls British or Scottish?
One is Scottish and one is British, but that's all part of the United Kingdom.
This is why I need to see a video of the fight, because that's hilarious.
So you can hear what they're saying.
Their crazy accents.
I thought this was a great way to end it, because I was just like, imagine, it's like when we talk about the...
I'm sorry, no, the third girl that they're mentioning, which they really shouldn't bring up because it's kind of irrelevant, but the $500,000 one is Scottish. The other two seem like they're both British.
Oh, okay.
It reminds me of like that saying about like why rivalries at universities are so cutthroat, because the stakes are so small. You understand what I'm saying? Like when people fight at colleges, like when professors fight within departments for funding and stuff like that, they fight with each other because the stakes are so small. It's like they need something to fight about.
Are you saying the stakes between OnlyFans models are so small that they like feel extra competition and rivalry?
See, I feel like it's because their universe is so small. Like OnlyFans has, I mean, I think there are
but it's supposedly democratic to the point where like anyone can join and make a fortune, whatever.
If Elle Brooke or whatever her name is, like suddenly attracts more fans, then what's her face, then the other one loses revenue, right? So they have to like
which is a myth that
maybe, who knows. I'm really not into the economics.
I don't know about it either.
That's a big argument that comes up in comics all the time, like where they're mad at Boom Studios for doing like a comic with Keanu Reeves. Even though the studio could afford to produce it themselves, they basically use Kickstarter as like a pre-order platform, right? And people are like, this platform's supposed to be for people who can't fund their own books and stuff like that. It's like their money made does not equal less money made for you.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Yeah.
So it's
just a bigger pie.
Exactly. Well, theoretically, it puts more eyes on your stuff if you like, because when you look up something on there, then you'll get like suggested stuff in the sidebar. So if you were making something in the similar world, if you're making a comic and they're making a comic, theoretically, you could see your name could then come up next to there in the suggested projects tab, which means you're actually having more eyeballs on it. So it's just we live in a society of envy now that not really the best way
or
to
maybe
be.
they're just both loyal sports fans and they really, really wanted you to know that they in fact won't stand for you calling them fake.
That could be it. I am happy to be proven wrong. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.